And we are on the air. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Sande. I'm from Apple World Today. And and that just went live. So let's try that again. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Sande. This is Apple World Today live. And we're here tonight on October 23rd, 2019. No, it's 2018. Let me change that. We are here to... that was weird. Okay, we're here just to actually have a great evening. With me tonight are Marty Edwards, and Marty's here a lot of the time, and I'll switch to Marty there. There's Marty. There. Hi,
hey,
Marty.
Everybody.
And we also have Ruby, his lovely spouse, who is in Minneapolis right now, or are you in St. Paul? One of the two.
Minneapolis. Downtown Minneapolis.
She is attending the Jamf Nation conference on behalf of Apple World Today and learning a lot, I can imagine.
It's been a big learning curve. We're learning a lot, yes. I'm in front of the Jamf swag store. You can see that back there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's closed right now, but we've got a lot of neat stuff in there.
Well, you're going to have to buy up all sorts of stuff for Marty.
So. I will. Yeah. He's envious because this year they gave out a hoodie.
Nice.
The dress here is rather informal. Most people are wearing jeans, hoodies, and that sort of thing. So it fits right in.
That's the IT dress code. It's beautiful. In fact, it was so funny because I can remember back in the old days, and I'm talking about the late 1980s, it seemed like you'd go to a conference like Macworld Expo, San Francisco, and everybody was kind of dressed up. The people at the the different booths, the different vendors are all wearing ties and suits and everything, looking very professional. And me and the other folks who were there on, basically the business dollar, we would all wear, at least wear a tie. And nowadays, everybody's nice and comfortable, which is much better.
Yeah, they gave her a nice hoodie, nice shirt. Of course, you know how it is at these tech conferences, just food and drink around all the time, all day long.
Yeah.
So she's been having a good time.
Yeah. Well, that's excellent. And so today was the day of the keynote, if I remember correctly. Is that right?
Yes, today was the opening. And very interesting.
Well, I will comment. Boy, her picture looks good. Just a comment, so people will know that we both are on Apple iPhone XS Max. We both have the XS Max.
Nice.
The larger screen. She's got the gold version. I've got the space gray. And I may, when it comes around to me for some thoughts, I've been using it a while to give some really, I think, very positive thoughts about some things I love about this phone.
Yeah, I tell you, it's been a very, well, let's just put it this way, kind of a important, exciting thing for me to get that phone and really get going. I'm wondering if we're actually live. Do you know if we're live? Because
it says live.
I got the notice on the phone. Let me check on YouTube real quick.
I'm sorry to say that, but I just went out to YouTube, and there was this little button that said, let's see here. We'll see if we are actually live. Oh, we are. Good. Yay. Whew. Man, I got really concerned because it said
some of the millions watching. Yeah. Please let us know.
It says one of us right now, but the good thing about it is we get a lot of viewers after the fact, so I don't care how many people are watching tonight. Most likely people are probably actually using
World Series
or YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, they're actually showing the World Series live. So
oh yeah, Apple World Today, it's got a red icon by it, says live now. We've got one watching. Hope it doesn't bring down YouTube. Actually, we could not have broadcast last week. It's been a week tonight since YouTube went down.
Oh, that's right. They had that horrible. I mean, that was a pretty bad situation. I was trying to get on there, and it was just not going to happen. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, I've got much better bandwidth than I used to. I'm gonna switch screens here real quick and show you what I see on the other screen. Do y'all see all three of us?
Let's see here.
I'm experimenting a little bit. It'll probably all stop.
I do.
Yeah,
And what's funny is
too?
I was trying to get it to show an overlay, one of those lower thirds, and it doesn't look like it's working. So, but it was supposed to say, let's see, it was supposed to say something about Apple World Today, episode 47, October 23rd, 2018. And guess it's not going to happen.
Well, I'm not sharing the screen now, am I? I hope I stopped it.
Don't think so. No, I don't see it.
I still learn a little bit doing Hangout. It was really easy for her. You sent me the link. I sent her the link on iMessages. I gather, I haven't asked her, but she probably just clicked on it, opened right up, didn't it?
I did. It's what happened.
Working good.
Turn the camera around here. It's kind of tucked away in the corner. This is the Jamf store.
I started to say, do they have guards at you in a mirror?
And that's me. And all down this hall, there are places to charge and connect.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
All the way down the hall. They've already started setting up for breakfast tomorrow.
Ruby, if you don't care, go back to that charging station. Mm-hmm. Is it wireless if you lay your phone on the top, see if it starts charging?
Ew, I don't know. We'll see.
I'm just sort of curious.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's black because I laid it down.
Oh.
No, you didn't lose me.
Did it charge?
Well, it's hard to tell.
I didn't know if it bonked. You won't hear them.
It didn't.
Okay.
Oh,
no, it's not charged. It's not. They're not. That's for next year.
Yeah.
This is like down the hall outside.
Getting ready for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. They have food all day long. Snacks or breakfast or something. Yeah.
That's a bad thing. I'd probably be eating all the time too, That's one of those, what do you refer to it as? Kind of your Achilles heel. If there's food available, it's like, oh, I'll have a snack here. I'll have one of these. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Well, Ruby attended the media luncheon today, and she was seated at the table. It was probably only 4 or 5 at the table with Dean Hager, who's the CEO of Jamf, and the CIO of IBM, the CIO, the only one they have.
Wow.
Fletcher Previn.
And his mother is very well known. I know everybody knows her.
Who's that?
Mia Farrow.
No kidding?
Yeah.
Well, I thought his father was pretty well known. I had to Google him to find all this out, but the name, I knew who his father must be. Andre Previn, who is a world famous conductor.
Yes, well, I know Andre Previn probably better than I know Mia Farrow.
That's what I was thinking.
But I did not realize he was kind of a IT geek.
Yeah, well, he said he started out, everybody expected him to go into show business. He did write for David Letterman as an intern, and who else, Ruby? Another well-known show. Conan O'Brien. But he just went into IT and did on Walmart.com, that part of Walmart, and got in, was promoted to vice president of IBM, one of the vice presidents, and then was promoted beyond that, which was CIO.
He was laughing at lunch because he said his father called him up and said, Walgreens is closing. And he said, what? He said, are you going to lose your job? No, I'm not going to lose my job. He thought he worked for Walgreens.
Well, he sent his mother. He sent his mother a newspaper clipping when he was promoted to CIO, and he asked her. And of course, that's Mia Farrow, and I didn't know it was his mother. And he asked his mother, said, "Did you read the clipping?" She said, "Yes." He said, "What do you think?" He said, "You need to lose 30 pounds."
Nice, great support from a apparent when you have a situation like that. The
But Ruby
it's
had lunch with him and with the CEO, so she had a good time today.
it's kind of funny how some people go through their careers and they change from one place to another. There was a guy by the name of, and I'm probably going to get the name wrong, but Michael Zelatel, who he was one of the earliest sponsors of Apple World Today. And at the time, he was, in fact, I think he's still running the app, but he had a company that created this wonderful application that let you do 4K video editing on an iPhone or iPad. And it's called VisiWig. 4K was the name of the app, and it's still out there as far as I know. Well, I got this note from him the other day. He's now a vice president with Microsoft. And, in this one group called the Edge, I don't know, Edge Experience Group or something like that. So it's amazing how people in that business will go from one company to the next. And, it's not surprising that somebody who's the son of two incredible people would become a CIO for IBM.
Yeah, that is. I thought that was very interesting. You would expect him in entertainment of some kind,
Yeah.
I reckon this was just what he wanted to do.
This is what he wanted to do. Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing too. So, any big announcements out of the conference this morning? Or?
Well, first of all, I've moved. I'm in the customer experience bar. It didn't turn around, did it? Let's see. I thought it did.
There we are.
There we go. They even have tables just for this. I don't know if you can tell. Customer experience bar here. This afternoon, this was the place. Everybody was out here. It seemed like that wasn't in a session. And for some reason, it's not sticking. I don't know. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. This place was busy. People sharing ideas and that sort of thing.
Another charging table there, I see. There's plenty of those around.
There's plenty of those around.
That's nice. I can remember the days when we had, in fact, up to the last Apple World or Mac World, iWorld, we had to bring our own extension cords and whatever the heck you call those things, like the 6 outlet goodies there. Of course, that worked out really nicely because that's how we got to know the folks at myapple.pl, which is run by a guy by the name of Christian Kozorowski. And it is the top Polish website about Apple products. And, I wouldn't have gotten to know those guys except we all shared the same power outlets.
That's interesting. One thing, I guess, a negative about Google Hangouts, we don't get to see Ruby until she makes sound. Is that correct? I think that's why it's recording it on YouTube.
I see.
Well, I'm kind of popping back and forth between the different channels here. To be honest with you, I can't remember how you get it to automatically.
Yeah, I think, Ruby, if you want to see something, you'll need to talk or, make some sound because Google Hangouts only shows one person at a time while it's recording, I'm pretty sure.
I like that. You'll look good in Jamf swag. Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, there may be a way Steve can force one. I wish we could do
that.
No, I'm forcing Ruby right now. So.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So, just kind of walking down the hall here.
It's a nice hotel it's held at. It's the Hyatt Regency downtown.
They've got information about their sponsors here, which all of these are set up downstairs in the expo hall. You go talk to them. I talked with a person from Diamond Assets today.
She interviewed him.
Interesting.
Cool. And what does Diamond Assets do? I'm not, strangely not familiar with it.
Well, it was really interesting, though. Either in education or in enterprise, they will allow you to trade up your Mac, your Apple devices, anything Apple made. They will actually cost free to you. They'll actually either come get them if there's a lot of them, or give you pay for your shipping if you mail them, and they give you trade up value for you to buy new devices.
Nice.
So very interesting. They've got these tables over here with the Jamf Nation on them.
They didn't have those last year.
No, these I don't remember these.
So
Yeah,
you're
I
near
could
the
use a new
fireplace.
table. Pick one up for me.
Pick one up for you. I'll put it in my carry-on. There's the fireplace.
Yeah, they've got it going. Oh, it's not too busy down there now. And so
it was busy earlier when I looked.
Go over to the end of that little runway,
Okay.
and we'll look down into the restaurant. It's a really nice hotel there.
It is very nice, and they're very friendly here. Very helpful.
You've been there a lot, Steve, I know, in your work. Minneapolis is a nice town.
It is, and the one thing I used to love about going there is that I don't know, there's a lot of good restaurants. The people are, for the most part, extremely friendly, and it's kind of a good place to have a conference. Other than the fact that sometimes you can go there and it'll be like 25 below zero, but
yeah,
stay away from there during the winter.
There's the restaurant. And there's no real, well, I start saying it's really a fake roof. You can go over and look down into the restaurant.
Yeah, it's kind of an awkward to look down. You really can't see much, but yeah, you can.
There's somebody eating.
Yeah.
See what they're eating.
It's where she had supper tonight. Jamf provides all the food except your evening meals.
Yeah.
Actually, I had something to eat here last night that was provided, and the waitress remembered what I ordered to drink last night. So she said, "You want tea again?" I said, "Yeah."
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I want to tell you, Steve, you'll get a kick out of this. I think Ruby is really helping, and we have made some. I guess we're getting Apple World today on the map, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we could be invited to cover another conference or something. I would love that, be invited to one of the big Apple events. Because today, when the CEO started his keynote, he quoted one of the bloggers from last year. Guess who he quoted?
It was either you or Ruby.
It was me. Something that I had tweeted. He quoted it. And Ruby mentioned it to him later and sitting at the table with him. And so I tweeted about it, and I started getting a little firestorm of tweets, good ones from people there.
Nice.
And some lady tweeted me. She said, "I'm sitting behind Ruby right now. I'll tell her hello." And I didn't even know this lady. And then someone that liked it, I think, is the PR firm that got us to come. So, if you sort of get noticed by them, do a good job, write things, and really talk it up. Of course, Ruby's going to do a great job. I was saying about me, if I do a good job, that there's a good chance we'll be invited to cover other events.
Well, hopefully one of these days we'll get to go to an Apple event. The one thing I thought was really interesting, I got to talking to some of the folks out there who I know who actually got invited to next week's Apple event next Tuesday in New York, which is a little bit weird. But they were saying that it appears that there is a much younger group of people who was invited this time. So I think I honestly think that in the face of all this concern about diversity, that Apple really needs to get the older, more experienced audience from Apple World today.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I agree. But, I think, and I really thought we might be. Last year, the PR firm said, we'll be talking to you before Jamf. So I thought maybe they had something else in mind for us, but they never contacted. But, if they were to offer for us to cover one of the Apple events, I'll go. We'll go. I mean, all of us.
All of us. Person.
We just need 4.
The contact person from last year has changed, so it can make a difference.
You're right. It's a different contact person. She took another job. But, Ruby, it looks good on Hangouts. You fill the screen here. Just going down an escalator.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to turn the camera back around. Can't go in. It's closed right now. But this is fascinating.
They have a shipping container in front of the hotel.
Let's see. I've got, yeah, that's the signs here that tells. It's called the Innovation Hub. And they've been giving to, going down to schools in Haiti. And they had a challenge. They were asked to go to a school in a city that had no electricity. These kids didn't have access to technology. They hadn't even seen a light bulb. And so they came back and figured out they've actually partnered and sent a hub to Zimbabwe. That's what
Oh,
the signs
wow.
are. But they use a shipping container, and they've done trial runs here in the States with. They're most interested in getting it to schools that just don't have the means to have technology.
Yeah, it's so funny, in the United States, there's so much of a concern about, well, some schools don't have access to all the latest technology, and not every kid has their own iPad.
Mm-hmm.
But, you look at some of these schools in, what we refer to as third world countries, and like you said, they're lucky if they've got electric power. They're lucky if they have water for the kids to drink. My wife and I do a lot of volunteer work and give quite a bit of money to a group that does the same in Uganda. It's called Outlook Uganda. Highly, highly recommend people take a look at it. And I'm happy to say I gave them a computer projector here a while ago, so to help out the teachers in the school that they've built down there. So, there's so much that people can do. It doesn't cost all that much to make a real impact on some of these schools that literally have nothing right now. So, hopefully, what Jamf is doing and what everybody can do is really, make a change out there.
Well, see what they're doing. They're not just sending materials. They have no electricity. This is an entire classroom they ship down. Then the
It's
kids
solar
come.
powered.
It's solar
I
powered.
think
Yeah.
there's solar panels on the top. I don't know if you can see. There's a website there.
What is
Yeah.
the NGO?
I don't know.
Non-governmental organization.
Yeah.
What is it?
Non-governmental organization.
Okay.
So
I wasn't familiar with it.
if anybody's looking at this now or later, check it out. But they've partnered with them, and then they've got some other partners like eSpark. They were here last year. Belkin. These are all educational type partners here, and inside is just it's a little classroom, technology classroom.
That is so cool.
And so you can imagine how easy it is to get to Haiti and other places relatively because it's a shipping container.
Yeah.
Put it on a ship and it goes. And when you arrive, you've got a full classroom, totally self-contained, powered.
This is down the other side of it. It's just a cargo container.
Well, I'll be
That is
honest.
so neat.
What I thought it represented, I thought they were going to go the route that they weren't using virtual machines now, but using containers. You know how containers is sort of a new type of, or a different type of virtual machine. I thought it was going to be a play off of that, but it's totally different. So there's Ruby, show us across the road from the hotel, seeing some other business there, another hotel. There goes a city bus by. Yeah. It's something you don't see out here on the farm, city buses. I've seen tractors today and other things go by.
Well, I'll say you don't see them in our neighborhood either, which is bad considering that when we first moved out here like 30 some odd years ago, there was a bus that went within a block of us, and service keeps kind of going downhill. So, yay, Regional Transportation District of Denver, you keep on getting worse.
Well, I had to say the technology really helped Ruby getting there. Her ticket for the plane was on her iPhone, and she had an app. We checking to see. She looked it up. Last year we used the same service. It's called Super Shuttle. They have an app you can check in. But the round trip for her to go there and back was only $28 from there down. So that's not too bad.
That's the super shuttle, not the
I
plane.
mean, the super
Oh,
shuttle.
I was going to go.
Yeah. No, not the
He's going to
plane.
hop on a plane right now.
Yeah, they paid for the plane, but not the shuttle.
Well, I tell you, it's so cool that we are able to get, one or two of you. Hopefully, like you said, one of these days we'll be able to get the entire team together at a conference, maybe one of the Apple events, and all hang out together. But it's so cool that we're able to have a presence. Apple World today really does operate on a shoestring. Try shoestring. Anyway, shoestring. And it's
Well, if that's the case, I've been wearing flip-flops for a long time.
but it's really helpful when we do get organizations like Jamf who realize that we're a pretty outstanding voice out there, and that we have people who know about the educational world and can report on that, as like Ruby does right now. And I tell you, it really helps us out. It helps out, I think, all of our readership as well, to be able to get this information about what's going on, and keep checking out the articles that we're getting from Ruby as Jamf Nation continues. This is great information.
Yeah, I think she'll be likely to be invited back because they have a not a keynote, but one of the sessions tomorrow that's women in tech, and that would be, I don't know if Ruby plans on covering that or not, but about the women in tech. So nice to have a lady blogger there, as well. So
yay!
But that fireplace behind you looks really cozy.
Yeah, we get closer, but the couches are taken. So
yeah,
I'm very thankful for my Jamf hoodie because it was chilly out there.
Well, we got to 70.2 degrees day here at home, and I think Minneapolis only maxed at about 46 or so. So big difference. Our average this time of year should be about 60 something, but we're a little above average today. I know we're approaching top of the hour, but a week from today, we're going to have a ton of news.
Oh, we're going to have probably a flood of news, because it sounds like the event that's going to happen on Tuesday is going to cover two items, which can both be managed and secured by Jamf, and that would be Macs and iPad Pros. It sounds like we're going to get the next generation iPad Pros. There's a lot of speculation out there that they may actually get rid of the Lightning port for charging and go to, believe it or not, USB-C. And the good thing about that is USB-C port on one of these would make it possible to hook up a USB-C compatible monitor directly. You could just run a cable from one to the next, and boom, you're up and running there. So, to be honest with you, and I think, Marty, you and I have talked about this in the past, having seen what Microsoft has been doing with the Surface Pro and the regular Surface Go, I think they're calling it now, the low-end model, I think it's important that Apple really kind of step up their game. Yeah, they've got 80% of the market for tablets, but people are using the Microsoft devices as a combination of laptop and tablet, and that's somewhere that Apple has refused to go. They say we won't do a touchscreen tablet. I mean, a touchscreen laptop. So, what else do you think we may hear about the iPad Pro?
Well, to mention that real quick before I answer that, of course, Brad Anderson, one of the vice presidents at Microsoft that I, quote, interviewed last year, that little interview that I had with him. Today, he was working on a Mac, and he reached up to touch the screen. He said, oh, I almost tried to touch the screen. Everybody went, woo, woo. He said, oh, I didn't mean it like that. He just, out of habit, reached up. because he uses touchscreen laptop. But
Tell him
that all
what
the
he was
time here.
doing here, though.
You go ahead, Ruby. You were in the room.
Yeah, I was in the room.
I mean, because I can't think,
He
is why I
actually
asked
did
you.
a live demo of connecting with a Microsoft.
Oh,
Let's see.
Azure Directory
Connecting,
and
yes,
Active Directory on Macs.
on Macs. So
That's
that,
really big news, to be able to just log onto your Mac and have quick and easy access to Active and Directory and Azure Directory.
That's really impressive because it used to require like third-party software, and it was a pain to set
Apparently,
up.
Jamf just does it for you remotely. And there's another
Wow.
guy, you probably don't know the name. You might, Martin Lang. He's IT head with SAP. I'm sure you're familiar with
Okay.
SAP. He was there last year. He's from Germany. And what they've got is they had a girl demo, and this wasn't just a demo, it was a live thing. She was a fairly new employee. They were issuing her a phone. So they provisioned it to their networking system live on stage. She didn't have to enter any passwords. It was done with certificates that were downloaded and loaded the apps. And here's the neat thing, and Ruby actually had a brief appearance. See if I can find that picture on
yeah.
on their live broadcast. So what they did, they had I don't know if I have that picture right now or not. I hope I do. But what they did, she had to load some apps. There's Ruby, and I'll show it in just a minute here. And so the way she loaded the apps, they had one of the virtual reality games. It was like a ping pong table with the apps on stands. And she took a slingshot virtually. And each time she hit an app, it downloaded it and installed it. It was sort of, this is pixelated because it's, I had to really zoom in. But take a look there.
Hey, see a
Now
familiar face?
yeah, there was Ruby in the crowd. She was front and center. Okay, I guess that was that lady behind you. She actually tweeted me, and I had never met her before. She said, I'm standing behind Ruby now, and we'll tell her hi. Isn't it amazing what you can do with technology? So, but back to what Martin Lang from SAP was doing. Basically, all they have to do is sign in with their company credentials one time, and everything is provisioned and downloaded. She went from a brand new phone taken out of the box, it had never been set up, to setting it up totally that she was on the company's network with their apps just in a few moments. And that's what Jamf, basically does.
Nice.
So it's pretty
When
impressive.
was the stuff when I was doing IT work?
Yeah.
We had to do it by hand, manually.
Do you remember, and I know you do, Steve, we had to actually set dip switches on things.
Oh, yeah, let's not talk about that.
I probably have some scars. Did you ever grab something and the pins would stick in your fingers? Ouch, off the chips or the posts.
Been there, had that bleeding hand.
Exactly. Somewhere in our computer at church, there's a lot of blood from me from reaching in doing something. But what else I expect next Tuesday, what I'm hoping is the Mac Pro will be available. I know it won't, but I can dream. I would love for them at least give us some hints of what it looks like. But if they do, it's going to cannibalize iMac sales instantly.
Yeah. One thing I'm really, I guess I'd say I'm probably hoping for more than anything, because I try to switch out my equipment, my main computer every 3 years, because I find, that's about the point. Actually, my iMac right now is working pretty darn good, so I could probably, last another year or two. But I'm hoping that they come out with a completely redesigned iMac. And I was looking at my iMac, 27-inch, 5K screen, looking at it yesterday, writing an article for another website. Don't say anything about that. No, it was OWC, who I do a lot of blogging for. But I was looking at that device, and I said, you could get rid of the aluminum, what I call chin, underneath the screen, and get rid of the bezel around there, except for maybe a small bezel at the top where you have a camera and everything for Face ID. Make it skinny and not have the big bulge like we've got right now, but make it much skinnier. I think it could be a much smaller, much lighter computer, and still have up-to-date technology. So we'll see. They may decide, yeah, it's worth it. We've had pretty much the same design for 6 years now. They may decide to just stick with it, but I almost feel like it's getting a little dated, and
Yeah.
I really hope they do something with the iMac.
Well, I want to stay in the Mac world. After using a Mac for 3 years, it's very hard to go back to Windows. I use a
Yeah.
Windows machine to game. You talking about being old? My Windows machine's 11 years old, so it's
Oof.
really antiquated. But my Mac, which is my newest computer, is 3 years old, and I'm beginning to have a few issues. I'll toss this out. Ever since, I don't know if it has anything to do with Mojave or I'm pushing it, about once every couple of days, sometimes maybe twice a day. I don't know if it's happened twice. I have just a total freeze up of everything. I wait and it'll reboot itself. And
Wow.
so it wasn't doing that until Mojave. And I think my time machines are too far back now. I can't restore. And I really don't want to. There's one feature I love on Mojave, and I take a ton of screenshots, and they were going all over the desk. And I love how they put them all quickly in that one folder.
Yeah.
And that's really a nice feature. But I had to admit, and last week or 2 weeks ago, Paul Gans and Ruby told me later he had been asking a question in chat that we had missed. Should he upgrade to Mojave or asking about it? I'll be honest, I've had a little bit of trouble. I've had some issues, but I don't know if it's circumstance. I admit I push it pretty hard. The Mac, I think I'm doing too much on it. I do run World of Warcraft. I run it in lowest settings possible, but they've really upped their game. Literally, that's a statement
Yeah.
that people use, but they have literally upped their game. And I think the Mac just cannot handle it. I just do basic playing on the Mac. I do serious playing on Windows. And I think I'm just pushing it too hard. So I need to just set it aside as a server, and I really need a new Mac badly. But, I don't think the Pro is going to be out to next year. But what I
Well,
told, you tell me if this is fair, because I've heard you do this to your wife, is I told Ruby, I said, if they come out with a good Mac, especially if Barkley has that 0% interest, I might buy an iMac. And then when they come out with a Pro, hand you the iMac, and then I'll take the Pro.
I think that's a totally fair and wonderful, wonderful idea.
Well, she's not as demanding on the computers I am. Not that I deserve a better computer, but I absolutely push them to their limit till they nearly scream.
Yeah, see, Barb's iMac is kind of a hand-me-down right now, and so it's on basically a 6-year-old machine, and it's still doing pretty good. We haven't updated it or upgraded it, excuse me, to Mojave yet, and it keeps throwing up the please upgrade this, please do it. But I'm not sure I really want to do it. I have a feeling that it might slow that machine down enough that Barb would not be happy, and that would not be a good thing. So what I'm hoping is that they do come out with a new iMac, something that's totally impressive, and that she gets my old machine. We donate or sell the 6-year-old machine and go from there. So who knows what'll happen. One other thing, and I know you've got a Mac Mini, correct?
That is the only Mac I have. That's what I'm
Yeah,
using now.
there's a lot of excitement out there that they may finally announce on Tuesday an updated Mac Mini. In fact, possibly a Mac Mini Pro model that could be used as a headless server. Maybe use it as a media server of some sort. So I'd love to see that.
I was not prepared for tonight's show. Ruby bought me this apple for Apple World today, and I forgot to set it out. So it's sitting
Sorry,
on the print.
you went from that, and I happened to laugh, and all of a sudden my face showed up there, and I was doing something with my ear. I got hearing aids on the
Ah,
14th, and surprisingly bad hearing. That's why I'm back with these. I'm actually going to go to a wireless headset here pretty quickly, but I can't use my earbuds anymore. The good thing is that these are Bluetooth compatible, so I can actually use them as Bluetooth devices. But it's every once in a while in the evening, my ears get really itchy from having this in all day.
I'm gonna try and turn my camera just a little. Okay, I got both apples in there.
Woohoo!
Something else I read that we haven't mentioned. It may not happen next week, they said, but they think there could be that they might actually have an iPad Mini version 5. So,
He says.
Ruby really uses an iPad Mini. That's a good size form factor.
Yeah.
But I think even she said, didn't you, Ruby, you're not using it as much since you have this iPhone XS Max.
Well, if I'm reading a book, I actually prefer my Mini, but I can read on my phone, so either way.
There's only 1.4 inches difference in the diagonal, but the screen is much wider on the Mini.
Yeah.
I think it's a 7.9 versus 6.5 of the phone.
What I've loved, I still have an iPad Mini 2 that, it's just a fine little machine. And I finally found exactly what I needed to use it for. I took everything off of it, set it back to factory defaults, just completely wiped it out. And the only thing I have on there right now are, I think it's like 3 or 4 apps that are allow me to fly my DJI drones, and it works beautifully as a control device for that. When you've got everything kind of offloaded off of it, it works just beautifully as a control device. So, I think even the old iPad minis, back to version 2, still have some good life left in them. But I think as they get older and older like that, you just have to kind of say, well, I'm going to set up this device to just do X. That's all it's going to do. If you try loading too much on there, it's not pretty.
Well, I want to ask you, sort of shifting subjects, but I've been really excited on iOS 12 about shortcuts. But I had to admit the one thing that's got me a little, I guess, not as excited about them is no matter how complex I write or try to do, they cannot be triggered by time or location. You always have to intervene with a tap. And have you, your OWC or any other blogging or OCD or whatever, has anyone ever commented? Do they think there'll ever be where Apple will have a nice, see, I love to turn on like do not disturb at church and things like that. Why not have it set for a certain time every Sunday? That seems like a no-brainer. It seems like it'd be such a good thing to add.
Yeah, and have because Siri, as you know, right now in iOS 12, they do what they call Siri suggestions, where it'll come up and say, hey, we've seen you do this a lot. Do you want to turn this into a Siri shortcut? And you'll just be able to say, whatever this phrase happens to be, and it'll go ahead and do it. It's kind of different from the Shortcuts app, but it's still a way of doing some automation. I agree with you. They need to be able to say, wow, every Sunday you're at this location at this time and you do the following 6 things. Would you like us to do that and write a shortcut for you and set it aside? I think that's coming, probably in iOS 14 or something like that. But right now it's, I think they're just kind of getting their feet wet in, they bought the workflow app. They added some additional hooks into the operating system now with iOS 12 and the Shortcuts app. And I think what we're going to start seeing is that's going to become the automation platform of choice, not only for the iPhone and iPad, but hopefully, with whatever the next version of Mac OS happens to be, hopefully they'll add it in there as well.
Well, you know, they basically have quit work on Automator
Yeah.
for the Mac. So I actually wrote some, I say not super complex, but for me, they were complex scripts to do a few things. I had it to every night at 11:59 p.m. delete anything in the trash. I even had it set up like Ruby's hometown. They have radio news every morning at 7. I had it like every morning at 7. It would log on the internet, go to that site, record it for me, and I wouldn't even have to be here.
Nice.
So I did some things like that. I'd love that level of automation for the iPhone. I don't know if it's a security thing, but it seems like such a no-brainer to just every time, like, every time I'm at quote school, have the phone muted. You know,
Yeah.
I had to admit, now, I do tinker quite a bit with Android. And I probably need to write an article about this. There's about 4 or 5 things that Android can do that I really wish the iPhone could do. One is automation. I mean, it will record automatically, it will text automatically, and things like that by time or whatever you want. Temperature, if outside temperature is a degree, this temperature, you could make it text somebody with apps, but I mean, it can do it. One, I would love split screen. This screen's big enough now. We could definitely be running 2 apps, YouTube at the
Yeah.
top, text at the bottom. I know the Galaxy Note line has floating apps, so you could have 5 or 6 open if you want to. And one other thing I'll mention, I know this wasn't our subject tonight, but I would love some simple complications. Just whenever I open up the screen to have the weather, maybe a cloud icon or sun icon and temperature, just a little bit more information as soon as I unlock the screen. So just a time and date at the top. But anyway, they
I
have
was,
never once asked me. So
I was going to look here. There is a trick, apparently. Somebody, well, I don't know if it is possible, but it says how to get multi-window mode on the iPhone XS. And I'm going to see if they've got something here. Well, this person says, I don't think it's possible. Da 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 da. Let's see. And what I've got here is something, this is on the Apple website on September 22nd. It says enable multi-window mode on the iPhone XS, XS Max, and 10R. And it says there is a multi-window feature in the settings menu. And I've never seen this, so I'm going to
I
look
haven't
right
either.
now. But it says go to settings, go to display and brightness, select the view option, and click on zoomed. Well,
It makes a floating window if you do that, like a magnifier or jeweler's loop over the screen. But
okay. And this person is saying da 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 da, and it says you should be able to use multi-window mode. So let's see if I can. But you said it does come up with a.
I think that's what he's talking about, but I may be wrong.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to see if I can get it to bring up another app, and right now it's not looking likely here. But
Well, one of the reasons those features are so handy, and we know the A12 Bionic has the power to do it. It's the most powerful phone chip that there is. And I might write an article to this effect. I feel like I have a jet engine on a riding lawnmower, that I've got so much more power, but it's just not doing anything with it.
yeah.
The iPhone could easily run multiple windows, complex multitasking, and I feel like we're locked into a very straightforward path. That's one of the things that makes me tinker with Android so much. I feel like I'm so free to do, but I miss the Apple ecosystem. I want it all.
Yeah, we want it now too. Yeah, it doesn't look, I'm looking at some of the other things here, it's like not seeing a lot of happy comments about split screen, but it was apparently an advertised iOS 12 function on the XS Max, and
Well, now one thing, the built-in, like if you rotate your phone sideways,
yeah,
the calendar will have reminders will be split screen and they'll each scroll. It's only for built-in apps.
Hmm. That's not good. You like that? That's not good. Doggone it. Yeah,
Well, I'll
they.
say this: Apple. I never thought they'd let us do as much automation as we are, but they do tend to move at glacial speeds on changes of the software, which is understandable to a degree.
Yeah. So we can only hope that at some point here that will actually uh, turn into a possibility there. Let's see. I was going to see if there was anything else here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't understand what that guy was saying because I went from Zoom to or standard to Zoomed and it did nothing.
Yeah,
Really?
I'm not sure what he was saying because I feel like I would have seen it if it's possible. Because
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
now, um, oh, let's not forget before we need to mention this on the broadcast because this Friday the iPhone 10R goes for sale or is
Oh,
available.
oh, that was last Friday.
Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pre-orders last Friday, but I didn't think it was available till the 26th.
Oh, okay. I think you were absolutely correct there. I kept thinking they were available, but yeah, I guess that was pre-orders. Do you know anybody who's pre-ordered one?
I don't, but it is a good, I guess, I won't say mid-range. The cheapest one's $750, but you know, one thing that Apple has done, each of their phones now, they everyone has the A12 chip, Face ID, and the same camera, so you don't have to compromise on those at all.
Not bad.
But the screen is not even high definition.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
that's
not 1080, so
yeah. I've heard some pretty decent, early comments, from some of the folks who I guess were able to do hands-on with them. Sounds like people are pretty happy with it. They think they're going to sell a carload of them. It's just a fantastic lower price device. But like you said, once you've seen the screen on the 10s or 10s Max, it's I think it's going to be really hard for people to do a side by side comparison and say, "Oh yeah, I want this one." Then
yeah,
again,
exactly.
be able to have a nice color phone. It's kind of cool.
It seems like it's more to appeal to probably a younger crowd,
Yeah.
somewhat. But
Yeah, I'm looking
so
at
we got a lot of news coming up.
Yeah, the like I said, the big thing I think is going to be iPad Pro. I don't think we're going to see anything about. I honestly don't think they're going to do anything with iPad Mini because the regular iPad is down to 329. I think most people
Right.
would look at an iPad Mini and say, "Oh, well, it's smaller, therefore you're going to have to sell it to me for $150," and Apple's not going to do that.
No,
So
it's still $400.
yeah, I honestly think they'll just say, hey, if you want a small tablet, get yourself one of the iPhone XRs or a XS Max or something like that. The the Max definitely. I think we're going to hear something about iMac. Definitely, I think we're going to hear something about Mac Mini. But anything else is up to Apple.
Yeah, it is. Ruby, how's it going there? A lot of people in the lobby.
That's quite a few. Thought I'd go up a few floors and let y'all see
See out and
Minneapolis
see the city.
skyline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I was going to mention a couple of other people I talked to today. If I can pronounce this name right, Mark Celestizak. I'm not real sure his last name, but he's from UCSD Health Sciences, and talking about the way that they're using Jamf to help them with giving every patient access to an iPad. Every patient has access to an iPad with their medical information on it, and as soon as they check out, Jamf allows them to just wipe that iPad and start over. So it's a management issue that they can just do very quickly.
Now that's kind of cool, being able to.
Yeah. And I was asking him, how about older patients? What if they don't understand the technology? He said, well, it didn't really matter if they were using it or maybe a family member came in and wanted to get an update. Either way, they would have access. So it's been quite useful. I'm going to get on the elevator here, so.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to get to go up in the elevator on our broadcast here.
Hey!
You might as well go on up to the top floor, the 25th. Isn't that the top floor?
No, it goes to the 24th floor. I guess I could go up there.
Yeah, might as well go all the way to the top, show us the city.
Thank you.
Her signal got a little weak inside the elevator.
Oh, no. I tell you, you've got me all concerned about split screen now. I saw something that says that split view is available in certain things, but I still haven't been able to get it to work.
Well, if you turn off, rotation lock, and, just make sure rotation lock's off, and go to your calendar and turn sideways, well, that's not split screen on that. It must be reminders. There was something that I had done that I thought it actually looked pretty neat. They had a split screen, but it's only their apps and very few at that.
Uh-oh, we're walking through dark halls.
There's 4 windows on each floor, you can have at the ends of the halls to see out. So you're probably getting quite a bit of a reflection there, but
yeah.
Oh, still looks good. I can see some of the city lights out there.
So you're on the 24th floor?
I'm on the 24th floor. Go to the other end.
Yeah, she's just using LTE because last year we tried to use Wi-Fi for the broadcast, and it would really get slow. A lot of people using it. So we had better luck with LTE.
I was just going to say, this looks like, for some reason, I'm reminded of video games,
Yeah,
Walking
Doom.
through the dark hotel. Turn left. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good view.
Street.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it looks good. She got really weak there.
Uh-oh.
One of the things, Steve, we do live in a rural, very farming county. In our entire county, I think the tallest building is 3 stories. It's one of the banks.
Yeah, we've our community, it's trying to think what the tallest building is, probably 5 stories, right around there.
That's a good view, Ruby.
That must be St. Paul in the distance. I see a plane taking off, and I know the airport's, I think, kind of in between the two or something.
Yeah.
Earlier, I could see a sign that said Twins on it. I don't see it right now. Maybe it was out another window, I guess.
Minnesota Twins.
Baseball stadium.
Yeah.
I'm sure whatever they've got for baseball now has to be much, much better than the bad old days when they had the Hubert H. Humphrey Dome.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, I saw a baseball game there. It was horrible. It was one of the few ballparks that still had the artificial turf. It was just tiny. It just, it wasn't baseball.
Yeah, I guess the World Series is going on right now.
Why, yes, it is. And I hate to say it, but not real happy with either of the teams that are in it.
Looks like the Red Sox are up 4-3, bottom of the 5th.
Boo. Well, maybe the Red Sox are going to do to the Dodgers what they did to the Rockies back in 2007, which was sweep them in 4 games.
Wow.
They're a good team. I just don't like them.
I tend to pull for West Coast teams. I've always liked the Western teams, including Denver. So I used to love to watch the Broncos, especially when they played on Monday Night Football.
Oh, you mean when we actually used to have a football team?
I watched them a lot back in the, 80s.
There's a Target Field out.
Oh yeah, you can see the stadium. See it? Yeah. You must got over where the cell tower is, Ruby. That's a really good signal now. So she's on the 24th floor.
Nice.
I had to admit, I got a little vertigo when I'd go up and look out. If the windows weren't plastered in, I'd probably fall out. Oh yeah, look at the traffic.
Well, it's like they talk about what's the name of the building? It's the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. That apparently there's a restaurant that's not on the top floor. There's an observation deck that's way up at the top, but the restaurant is on like the 123rd floor.
Wow.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, Dubai is a beautiful city. Do you have an Apple TV?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever seen those screensavers of Dubai? That one, especially at night, where the building has the strobes on it.
Yes.
The real tall building. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
If you hadn't checked in a while, they've got a ton of new screensavers.
Took what I said and listened to it there. That was a little weird. Good old Siri. She likes to listen to my voice, I think, which is a little strange. But so
this is anyway, the 4th.
We're probably on Tuesday. We'll try a little bit of a semi live stream. Probably as things are coming in, we'll get the word out to people on what's happening.
Now you're talking about during the day, right?
Apple. It's like I said, anymore I just don't want to guess.
Right.
Who knows?
Well, you talk about now we won't do a broadcast next Tuesday night, right? Can you hear me?
Wait, that was a good shot. There we go. Nice one, Ruby.
Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
The city's stretching off. Oh, and I see a bunch of police cars off in the distance.
Yeah.
Steve, can you hear me? Hello?
I seem to have lost my sound. That's not good.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
You can't hear us.
Yes.
I can't hear myself, nor anybody else here. Let's see what's going on. Hey, I thought we were going to make it through. Oh, there we go.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, that was interesting. It for some reason, my sound level went down to 0.
I thought, well, Steve doesn't like my ideas or anything. That's fine. I understand.
I just thought you guys were being quiet, and then I went, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, the new hearing aids. They've gone. So we won't have a broadcast. You're talking about live, but you're talking about during the day. We won't broadcast next Tuesday night, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, we probably ought to wait a week until what will that be? The first Tuesday of November.
Yeah, well, if we skip next week, we can get back to 1st and 3rd.
Woohoo! That works.
So.
Yeah, and we'll have, by the way, if anybody gets up early and wants to watch me, and I have no idea who else, I'm gonna be on the British Tech Network's BTN, whatever they call it, the Mac Show. Sorry about that. That will be at it's like 8 o'clock Pacific time, which is 9, 10, 11, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I think it's like 7 o'clock at night out in British time. But if you happen to be interested, like I said, we do it live, and that's on BritishTechNetwork.com, and it'll be the live show. We'll probably have a post about it.
I've seen you do that show. It's pretty interesting.
It's fun. They use a tool that we used to use for Apple World, or excuse me, 2TV Live, which is called Wirecast. And that's what they use to set up all the different screens and everything. But they actually have one Mac Mini set up for every line that comes in. So if they have up to 6 screens, they can have, I think, like 6 different Mac Minis that are sitting there feeding the stream in. It's the only way they can do it.
That's interesting. Yeah, they, if I ever need another guest, I would say I'd be available, but they probably wouldn't understand the English, little accent.
Well, I tell you, so, and, I'm sure they're going to laugh if they watch this, but, there are some times that I listen to some of the guys there on the British Tech Network, the Brits, not the Americans that get on there. And I just sit there and go, what did he say? Because, just like everybody, you've got your own particular set of slang, vernacular, different things like that. And sometimes one of the hosts or one of the other folks will just throw something out, and I'm going, what did they just say?
Yeah, exactly. So no show next week, but we're looking at 2 weeks from tonight. That'll be November 6th, Election Day.
Hey, so we can do election returns and no, I don't think so. We'll just talk about Apple. Well, I think
That's a good view, Ruby.
That is a nice view.
I came down to the floor that I'm on, the 19th floor, and oddly, it's the same direction. There's the stadium, but I can see the Twins sign from here.
Huh.
And it doesn't say, I can't see where it says Target Stadium on it. So interesting.
Is that the Twin sign that's more red?
There's a red sign kind of down to the right. It's above it and a little bit to the left.
Okay.
It's hard to make out, but it says Twins.
Due to I'm just sort of curious, Ruby was at 93% battery when we started, and I can check her phone remotely. She's at 55%. That's actually pretty good. She's only used 38%, a video the whole time.
Yeah, doing an hour of live streaming, I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, on LTE. So she was 93, and so 53 would be 40, so 38%.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I do like that I can check her remotely, on either Find iPhone, or we use an app called Life 360 as well. It's a lot like Find Friends, but it gives some, data like that.
Is that a Microsoft app?
No, it's just it's free. You can buy more, but you and Barbara check it out. It's called Life 360. I probably need to do a review of that sometime. But I can track where, Ruby is at, like with Find Friends, and set up locations like to send me an alert when she gets home or leaves home or her parents' house. I think you can have 2 for free. If you pay $3 or $4 a month, it's unlimited places and a few other perks. If you go with the full everything, it will actually tell you. It's made, I guess, this part more for teen drivers and parents trying to help them. If they brake too hard or accelerate too fast or get to a certain speed, it'll notify.
They get to 88 miles per hour, then the time machine kicks in.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we'll be back then in 2 weeks, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot to talk about with the new Macs, new iPads. I'm doing some fun stuff with automation of my hearing aids. Believe it or not, I've got it set up so right now.
Every night at 9:30 they shut off. We just saw that.
No, no, cool things. It's integratable with IFTTT, so I can set up just virtually thousands of scripts, And one of them I have is anytime anybody gets near the door, it says, "Hey, Steve, there's somebody at the front door." So,
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah,
and it
that
comes
is
right
neat.
into my ears. I can't get away from it. I keep hearing these voices in my head.
Yeah, it's not the hearing aids.
Well, this has been Apple World Today TV Live and AWT TV, if you want to call it that. I want to thank Ruby. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And I'm sorry, I just had a telemarketer call come in right when I was saying that.
Well, I was going to, do you have a ringing in your ear as well?
All the time. So, but we'll, definitely want to thank you for your articles as well. That's really working out great. And, keep up the good work.
And I'm looking forward to next Tuesday, especially the Mac announcements. Ruby, you might see your future Mac announced next week if they don't do the Pro. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to hang on to the Pro, though.
Yeah, I think the Pro is still 2019, but
I think about a year from now, I probably think October 2019.
Well, I have to admit, one of the things I thought was really good out of Dennis the other day is he said, it's been 20 years since they came out with the first iMac, so why not come out with a 20th anniversary iMac and make that something special for 2018? And unfortunately, they've only got November and December to come out with this thing, so and a little bit of October, tiny bit.
Well, we'll see. This time next week, faith shall be sight. We'll know.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you very much for watching.
Ruby, good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you.
Good night from Minnesota.
Yeah, and stay warm.
Trying to.
And we'll see you back home in Kentucky on Thursday.
And we'll go ahead and sign off for tonight. But everybody, if you like the show, definitely give us a thumbs up on YouTube. We don't get all that many live viewers, but we definitely get quite a few people who stream the show after the fact off of our YouTube channel. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great week. We will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.